What if I told you that your vision isn't fading just because of age? That the quiet blur you notice in the morning, the way sunlight suddenly feels too harsh, or the struggle to read, even without screens, could all come from what's on your plate. Many people over 50 believe it's just part of getting older. But what if the real reason you're losing clarity isn't your age? It's 5 common vegetables you've trusted your whole life? As a doctor who spent decades caring for older adults, I've seen firsthand how seemingly healthy foods can quietly steal away vision, independence, and joy. In this video, I'll walk you through each of these vegetables, explain why they're harmful when eaten the wrong way, and show you what to eat instead to keep your eyes sharp and your life in focus. If you've ever felt like your sight just isn't what it used to be, you're not alone, and this message is for you. Drop a comment and let me know if you've noticed any changes in your eyesight lately. And if you care about protecting your vision and staying informed, hit like and subscribe so you never miss what matters most. 1. The spinach surprise. There's something comforting about a bowl of warm spinach. Maybe it's part of a family casserole, folded into your morning omelet, or reheated from last night's dinner. It feels familiar, healthy, even smart, especially when you're trying to eat clean and get more iron. But here's the part most people never hear. That leftover spinach sitting in your fridge, the one you warm up for lunch or dinner the next day, might be quietly harming your eyesight. Not because spinach is bad, but because of what happens to it after it's been cooked, stored, and reheated. Spinach is naturally rich in nitrates. That sounds harmless, even healthy. But when cooked spinach is cooled and then heated again, those nitrates can turn into nitrites. And nitrites, especially when consumed repeatedly over time, can contribute to something far more serious: oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a slow, quiet process. You don't feel it. You don't see it happening. But it targets the tiny blood vessels behind your eyes, especially those that feed the retina. That's where your central vision lives. It's what lets you read clearly, recognize faces, and adjust to light when you walk outside. In my years of practice, I've met patients in their 70s who never smoked, never had diabetes, and didn't even spend much time on screens. Yet their vision began to fade. When we looked at their habits, one pattern stood out again and again. They often ate reheated spinach dishes, not out of neglect, but out of routine. One woman in particular still stands out in my mind. She was bright, independent, and loved cooking for her grandkids. But one day, she told me she couldn't clearly see her grandson's face in the morning light. Her vision had blurred without warning, and no diagnosis explained it. When we walked through her diet, I found something she never questioned: a habit of storing and reheating spinach 2 or 3 times a week. She did it to avoid waste, to save time. It made sense. But that innocent choice slowly undermined the clarity she had always taken for granted. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Spinach can still be part of a healthy diet, but not when it's been left to sit overnight and then reheated. If it's already been cooked, eat it fresh. If it's raw, that's even better. But don't keep reheating it day after day, believing you're doing something good for your body. Because eyesight doesn't just disappear one day, it fades, quietly, over time. And often, it fades while we're still trying to do the right thing. You might be thinking, is one small bowl of leftovers really that bad? Maybe not right away. But habits build, and so do the consequences. The real risk with aging isn't just what our bodies lose. It's what we unknowingly give away by repeating what once worked but no longer serves us. We live in a world where convenience often wins, but your eyesight is worth slowing down for. It's worth cooking fresh. Even if it takes a little more effort, it's worth questioning habits that feel harmless but hold real cost. So if reheated spinach can carry hidden risks, what about other leafy greens we trust every day? What about that raw kale in your morning smoothie? That answer may surprise you. And if this part of the video spoke to you, let me know in the comments. Just type 1 if you're still with me and finding this helpful. Together, we can take small steps toward clearer choices and clearer vision. 2. The kale smoothie trap. Kale has become a symbol of health. It's featured in wellness magazines, grocery store flyers, and almost every senior diet plan you can imagine, and for good reason. It's packed with nutrients, fiber, and antioxidants. But like many things in life, even something good can cause harm if we don't use it wisely. More and more people over 50 have started blending raw kale into their morning smoothies. They do it with the best intentions. They want to stay sharp, energized, and independent. But here's the hidden problem. Raw kale is extremely high in something called oxalates. And oxalates, when eaten in large amounts, don't just pass through your body. They bind to essential minerals like calcium and zinc minerals your eyes rely on to stay healthy. The retina and the macula, the parts of your eyes that help you see detail, depend on these minerals to function properly. When oxalates tie up calcium and zinc, those nutrients become harder for your body to absorb. That means your eyes might not be getting what they need. Even if you think you're eating all the right things, I've seen patients who never missed a walk, who stayed away from sugar, who drank water and avoided smoking. And yet, they came to me with the same complaint. Their vision felt dull, their eyes tired faster, light felt more intense. And when I asked about their diet, many smiled proudly and said the same thing. I drink a kale smoothie every morning. They were shocked to hear that something so green and clean might be part of the problem. And I don't blame them. We've been taught that more vegetables are always better. But as we age, our bodies become more sensitive. We can't always process things the same way we used to. That's not failure. That's biology. And it means we need to adapt. This isn't to say you should throw away your kale. Not at all. Kale still has incredible value. But the way you prepare it matters. When you cook kale, just lightly steam or saute it. The heat breaks down most of the oxalates. That makes the good stuff inside easier for your body to use. The vitamins, the antioxidants, the minerals your eyes depend on. You're not losing nutrients by cooking it. You're unlocking them. You're making sure that every bite supports your vision instead of slowly draining it. And here's the bigger truth. When you're overhand or can't, the goal is no longer just to survive. It's to thrive, to see clearly, to feel connected, to recognize the people you love, the places you've built your life around, the small moments that matter. That starts with protecting your eyes. And sometimes that means letting go of routines that once felt right. So if you've been drinking raw kale smoothies every morning, take a step back and ask yourself, is this helping me, or is it just a habit I picked up along the way? What would happen if I cooked it instead? Or added in a variety of leafy greens that are gentler on the body? Your body has changed, and that's okay. The way you care for it should change too. One small shift like steaming your kale could mean the difference between fading vision and lasting clarity. If you're still watching and this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. These changes don't have to be big, but they do have to be intentional, because what you put into your body becomes the way you see the world. Literally, And if a superfood like kale can quietly block your vision when handled the wrong way, what about the foods we turn to for flavor and tradition? Is like pickled vegetables. Let's take a closer look at what those could be doing next. 3. Pickled danger in your fridge. Pickled vegetables hold a special place in many of our memories. Maybe it's the sharp crunch of a dill pickle at a summer picnic, or the tang of sauerkraut passed down through family recipes. For some, it's the taste of childhood. For others, it's comfort on the side of a sandwich. But beneath the bold flavor lies something few people ever question. The truth is, pickled vegetables, especially those from jars and store shelves, often come packed with far more than just vinegar and salt. They carry a heavy load of sodium. And for anyone over 50, that's where the danger begins. Your eyes depend on delicate, tiny blood vessels. These vessels feed the retina, helping you see clearly, adjust to light, and detect detail. But when too much sodium enters your system, it raises your blood pressure. That added pressure doesn't just affect your heart. It strains your eyes. It can weaken those tiny vessels until they begin to leak or collapse. You may not feel it at first. There's no sudden pain, no flashing warning. But over time, the damage adds up. Blurred vision, sensitivity to light, a creeping haze that won't go away. And many people never link it back to the extra pickle they added to lunch. What makes it even more concerning is that many commercial pickled products are labeled as low-fat, natural, or even healthy. But behind those labels are hidden preservatives and artificial colors. These compounds can trigger inflammation throughout your body. And for aging eyes, that inflammation spells trouble. I remember one man, sharp as a tack in conversation, who came in wondering why his vision seemed to fade in and out during the day. He had no history of diabetes. His eye pressure was normal. But he mentioned eating pickled beets every night, a tradition from his childhood. When we looked at his sodium intake, it was quietly skyrocketing, all from what he thought was a harmless, healthy snack. This isn't about giving up everything you enjoy. It's about becoming more aware of what's really going into your body. If you love pickled foods, there are ways to enjoy them more safely. Make your own at home with less salt, or choose naturally fermented options without additives. You don't have to say goodbye to flavor, but you do need to protect the systems that keep your world in focus. Your eyesight is too important to leave to chance. One bite here or there might seem small, but when it becomes routine, when it's every lunch, every dinner, day after day, the consequences no longer stay silent. They start to show up in how clearly you can see the people you love. If you're someone who keeps a jar of pickles or pickled veggies in the fridge right now, and this is not a call to throw them all out, it's a call to pause, to read the label, to ask if the pleasure of a crunch is worth the pressure building behind your eyes. Your body speaks in quiet ways, and when something like vision begins to shift, it's easy to assume it's just age. But aging doesn't mean losing your clarity. It means learning to adjust. It means making smarter choices so you can continue seeing life fully, deeply, and with joy. If this insight made you think twice about what's in your fridge, share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if this is something you've experienced or if it's opened your eyes to a habit you hadn't questioned before. And if pickled vegetables can cause this kind of strain on your vision, imagine what happens when something as powerful as garlic gets used in the wrong way. That's what we'll look at next. And the answer may surprise you. Stay with me. For garlic, the double-edged sword garlic, has been praised for centuries. It's been called a natural healer, a heart protector, even a life-extending superfood. And to be fair, too much of that praise is well earned. Garlic can help lower cholesterol, support circulation, and boost the immune system. But like many powerful things in nature, it's not harmless in every form, and not for everybody. The problem begins when garlic is taken in large doses, especially in raw form or as concentrated supplements. A little bit in your pasta sauce, that's one thing. But blending raw garlic into smoothies or adding capsules to your daily routine without balance, that's where the trouble can start. Garlic is a natural blood thinner. That might sound like a good thing, especially if you're trying to reduce stroke risk or support heart health. But here's what most people never hear. When your blood becomes too thin, even tiny blood vessels can rupture, and some of the most fragile vessels in your entire body are found in your eyes. The retina, sitting at the back of your eye, is filled with capillaries thinner than a strand of hair. These vessels feed your vision. They help you process light, focus, and see details. And as we age, those vessels grow more delicate. When garlic is added to the mix, especially on top of aspirin or blood-thinning medication, the balance can tip. I've had patients describe it in haunting detail. Sudden floaters drifting across their vision, flashes of light where none should be. A sense that their sight is fading like smoke in the air. They often had no idea that the very garlic they proudly took for their heart may have been quietly harming their eyes. This isn't meant to scare you away from garlic. It's meant to help you see it clearly for what it is. Powerful. Yes, but also demanding respect. One clove in your dinner can be healing. A handful every day in raw form, combined with supplements and medication, might create risks. No one warned you about. You see, the body isn't just a collection of parts. It's a system, interconnected and sensitive to balance. And while garlic can support circulation, too much thins the blood past what aging eyes can tolerate. That can lead to retinal bleeding, hazy vision, or even partial blindness that sneaks in without pain or warning. Balance is the key. Think of garlic not as something to remove completely, but as something to use wisely. Cooked garlic is gentler on the system. Small amounts add flavor and benefits, but more is not always better, especially when your eyes are already working harder to adjust and focus with each passing year. One patient I remember well was a man in his late 60s who had started adding raw garlic smoothies to his mornings after watching a wellness video online. Within weeks, he noticed strange visual disturbances. At first, he ignored them. By the time he came to see me, there was damage that would take time and care to manage. When we looked at his daily routine, it was clear his heart was in the right place, but his body needed something different, something gentler, more intentional. He swapped the raw garlic smoothies for warm, home-cooked meals with just a clove or two of garlic sautéed gently. His eyes began to stabilize, and his energy returned in ways that surprised him. So ask yourself, are you adding garlic to support your body, or overwhelming it without realizing? Are you mixing supplements, haraf cloves, and medications without a second thought? Your vision deserves that thought. It deserves care, not just effort, because sometimes even the most trusted foods can carry double meanings. Garlic can be both medicine and risk, depending on how you use it. And when something this common can affect your eyesight, it makes you wonder, what about the sweet comfort foods we reach for without thinking? In the next part, we'll look at something you might find in almost every kitchen pantry. It looks safe. It tastes like summer, but it could be stripping your vision of the nutrients it needs most. Stay with me. The next bite of truth may surprise you. 5. The corn that costs you sight. There's something familiar about canned corn. It's warm, sweet, and easy to prepare. You open a can, heat it up, and it's on the table in minutes. For many, it brings back memories of family dinners, holidays, and comfort food. But comfort can sometimes come with a cost. Most people see corn as a harmless side dish. It's not fried. It's not processed in the usual way. And it's technically a vegetable, but not all corn is created equal. The kind that comes in a can is a very different story from the fresh or frozen corn you might find in the produce aisle. Canned corn goes through heavy processing before it ever reaches your pantry. During that process, much of its natural nutrients are stripped away. Two of the most important for your vision, lutein and zeaxanthin, are often lost. These antioxidants help protect the retina from damage, especially from blue light exposure. They also play a key role in slowing macular degeneration, a condition that quietly steals central vision as we age. Without those nutrients, your eyes are more vulnerable to the everyday stress of light, screens, and age. You might notice more glare when driving, more squinting to read, or more strain trying to recognize faces. And because canned corn tastes so good and feels so easy, many older adults eat it often, not realizing the trade-off they're making. But that's just the beginning. Many canned corn varieties include added sugar and sodium. These ingredients don't just affect your waistline. They create inflammation in the body. That inflammation, especially when it becomes chronic, affects the tiny blood vessels in your eyes. It can raise eye pressure, reduce blood flow, and make it harder for your eyes to heal or stay strong. One woman I spoke with recently said she loves sweet corn so much, she added it to her plate almost every night. It reminded her of childhood, and it was easy to cook for just one person. But over time, she began noticing that reading became more tiring. Faces looked duller in the morning light. Her eye checkups didn't show major disease, but something wasn't right. When we looked at her habits, canned corn came up again and again. It seemed innocent, but it was part of a larger pattern process choices that slowly reduced the support her eyes needed. This isn't about guilt. It's about empowerment. The good news is, you don't have to give up corn entirely. You just have to be thoughtful about the kind you choose. Fresh corn grilled, steamed, or roasted still contains the vision-protecting nutrients your body needs. Frozen corn, without added sauces or flavorings, is also a good option. These choices give you the flavor you love, without the silent risks that come from what's hidden in a can. It's easy to overlook these things when you're trying to keep meals simple and familiar, and that's understandable. But your eyes do so much for you every day. They help you read, connect, and recognize the people you love. Protecting that gift starts with small changes, choosing foods that nourish, not just fill, foods that support your sight, not slowly blur it. So, the next time you reach for a can of corn, take a moment. Ask yourself if there's a better choice nearby. Something just as warm, just as golden, but a little closer to its natural state. A choice that helps you see more clearly, longer. If this message sparked something for you, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Have you ever thought about how canned foods affect your vision? Or maybe you've made a switch from canned to fresh that made a difference? Your story might help someone else see things more clearly too. And now that we've uncovered 5 common vegetables that may harm your vision, the next question is even more important. What should you eat to support your eyes, your mind, and your independence. Let's look at the vegetables that heal and protect, starting with what might already be in your kitchen. Stay with me. The best part is just ahead. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you learn that foods you trusted might be harming your vision. You may ask yourself, why didn't I know this sooner? Or how could something so small make such a big difference? That kind of frustration is natural. But it also points to something powerful, your growing awareness. Many of us were raised to finish what's on our plate, to avoid waste, and to trust familiar routines. That mindset helped us through hard times. But now, your health needs a different kind of wisdom. It needs you to ask new questions, to look beyond habit and into impact. What if the real sign of strength isn't just doing what's familiar, but choosing what truly serves your body today? What if your eyes, your clarity, your connection to the world deserve that extra thought, that better choice, that moment of pause before reaching for convenience? This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present with your body, present with your future, and most of all, present with the people and experiences that matter most to you. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to begin making these shifts. And every step toward awareness is a step toward protection of your health, your independence, and your ability to live fully with open eyes and an open heart. You've now seen how 5 everyday vegetables, when prepared the wrong way, can quietly affect your vision. But you've also learned that with small changes, you can protect your eyes, support your health, and stay connected to the life you love. That power is already in your hands and on your plate. Growing older doesn't mean giving up clarity. It means making wiser choices with more intention. Your vision matters. Your well-being matters. And the steps you take today will shape how you see tomorrow. If this video made you stop and think, I invite you to share one habit you're ready to change in the comments. Your experience could help someone else feel less alone. And if you found value here, please like and subscribe so we can continue sharing insights that truly support you. You deserve a life full of color, clarity, and connection. Let's protect that together.